now it's time to talk a little bit more about the track. And Scott Nichols was lucky enough to catch up with Ty Wolfenden earlier today to talk a bit more about this track in Warsaw.
So I'm lucky enough to be joined with Ty Wolfenden on a track walk. Ty, what is it you guys actually looking for when you do these track walks?
I didn't walk the track yesterday in practice because I've done plenty of laps around these little tracks, and I expected it to be quite smooth. But on a day like today, obviously we had practice qualifying yesterday, so the track got really rough. Just behind us where we just walked past, there was a rut probably 6 inches wide by 4 inches deep. And when that tyre bites, it really wants to take off, and it's in a really tricky spot. But these tracks are quite special. They're full of these tiny little stones, which makes it really hard to find the setup. You normally pull a pretty tall gear here. When I say tall gear, essentially you drive around this in fifth in your car, whereas some tracks you might drive around in fourth. It's like the best way to explain it. And yeah, just trying to find them racing lines as the night progresses, looking at the banking, if it's got any off-camber areas. Sometimes track walks just for a bit of fun.
You reference lines and things like that. This is a temporary track, so when you go to an established track, you can generally kind of see the race line where it's worn in. So is this where, I know you didn't do practice, but is this where practice becomes crucial to try and find the lines? Is there sometimes like a line that you don't perhaps expect on a track walk that actually works on the night?
These ones are always tough because for the first couple of races it might be like right around the inside, and then after maybe the third heat it might go right to the fence. It depends on how much the inside breaks up, how much moisture's in the track, what the moisture's like in the air, if you have wheel spin. There's so many variables, and that's one thing I love about Speedway is there's just so many variables compared to like most other motorsports. Like we essentially race a different track in every single heat of the night, and you've got to watch the racing from the box and see what's going on, watch what they're doing on the track grades, where they've put the water, if they watered the slick and then covered it up with the dirt, if they watered the dirt, or if they graded it and then watered the dirt on top. The variables are crazy, and sometimes it's a bit of a guessing game.
So the track walk actually continues on to the night. It's constantly changing. Are you able to describe to us if the surface is different to an established track, and if it is, what is the difference?
I call the indoor tracks like a stony track. There's lots of tiny little stones in it, which you can see all over the place, and that seems to make the wheels spin a lot more. In the corner, down the straight, it's quite hard to find that traction. Unless it's quite a bit of a berm, then you can find it. But apart from that, I would say it's got 2 straights and 2 corners, right?